then.
You couldn't be around Jack without being inspired. You just couldn't.
96-year-old First Lady of Fitness, Elaine LaLanne, is going the extra mile.
You are my hero. Wow.
So my next guest is, well, she's something else. Elaine LaLanne. I have to say she spent over 50 years. Her husband, Jack LaLanne, I'm sure you know that name, right? Her husband lived well into his 90s, and she spent over 50 years motivating people to live a healthy, balanced life right alongside her husband. And she shares their journey together in her latest book, Pride and Discipline. Look at that. I love that picture. It's so gorgeous. It's amazing. Pride and Discipline. It's the legacy of Jack LaLanne. And at 96, did you hear that, people? 96, Elaine is still redefining health and fitness and positivity. Elaine, how are you, my darling?
Hi, I have been an admirer of yours for years. I remember when you first started and you were doing all those recipes.
Well, I try and cook mostly healthy. You're probably not happy with some of the stuff I cook, but we're gonna watch a little bit of tape together to show you off. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's okay with me. It's not what you do some of the time that counts. It's what you do most of the time that counts. So if you have, a little, if you go off the deep end, so be it,
I love that. She's giving us permission, you guys, to have buffalo whatever every once in a while.
When I was 80, I said, Jack, I'm 80 years old, and I said, I want a piece of cake. I'm going to have a piece of cake.
You're going to have the piece of cake.
I've been good all these years, and I'm going to have a piece of cake. He says, it's not some of the time that counts. It's what you do most of the time that counts.
That's the truth of it. If we have discipline most of the time, it's okay to be your freest self some of the time. Check out Elaine.
Now, if I close my fist, okay, and then I give tension to this muscle, look what's happening. I'm working that muscle. I can see why you can do 50 push-ups.
Hi, I'm Elaine LaLanne, and Jack LaLanne was my husband. Jack was known as the godfather of fitness, which makes me the first lady, I guess. Well, I was on television in San Francisco on KGO TV, and I was producing this hour-and-a-half show. I got this call from Oakland, California, and the gal said, I got this guy who can do push-ups through your whole show. And I said, oh, that's a great idea. We'll just pan over to him. That's what we did. He didn't even say boo on the show. That's how I first met Jack.
1, 2, 3, 4.
In 1951, they offered Jack his own show on health and fitness, and it was the first kind of a show like that.
How do you exercise? Well, I'll tell you how you start. By just flipping your legs up and down like this. Can you do that? Then you're exercising. Come on.
In 1950s, people were not into health and fitness, but Jack was so dynamic that people would listen to him, and the audience became larger and larger and larger. Well, I think Jack's contribution to the world was all the things that he invented. If you use a stretch band today, guess where it came from? Jack LaLanne. This is the stretcher. This is 1950s. This is a record. If you eat one of those nutrition bars, Jack LaLanne. If you've ever heard of the Smith machine, came from Jack LaLanne's head. You couldn't be around Jack without being inspired. You just couldn't. After Jack passed, I wanted to continue inspiring and motivating people at any age. I'm 96, going on 97, and I still work out every day. I have a formula for staying fit and healthy, and it's called ARCH. A for attitude. A positive attitude, you get stuff done. Negative attitude, you don't get anything done. R for resistance. Well, how do you think I got this? If I put my hand on the shoulder and give it resistance, look what happens. It builds muscle. C for consistency. And the H from your arc would be harmony. So if you have all these things, it equals harmony.
Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think the legacy of Jack LaLanne is the inspiration that he has given all the people. In this book, you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Denise Austin, Mark Wahlberg, and we want to give this inspiration to the young people that are coming up. They don't know where it all began, and this gives you an insight. I believe that Jack has made the world a healthier and better place.
Pride, discipline, and arch. You are my hero.
Wow, that was something.
Isn't it a wonderful journey?
Oh, it's been a one. You know what? I've had a wonderful roller coaster ride, and it's been ups and downs and roundabouts, but you know, we've always had a positive attitude. Jack always said, don't say that, it's negative. Don't say that, it's negative. He doesn't want anything negative. So we just laughed through life, and if there's anything that came up, we'd laugh. I mean, and to this day, if something happens to me, I just laugh at myself. You know, if we can learn to laugh at ourselves, it'll be a better world. I'll tell you that.
And think how much more we'd accomplish. You know, we all talk about the ripple effect. If you cast a stone into the water with hate, it's going to come back as a tsunami that hurts you. If you cast gently a stone into the water with love, you'll get a gentle ripple back that will bring you nothing but love. It's such an easy thing when you think about it, but it's so hard to live that way for people. And I think you really hit on that, to have a sense of humor. And when my grandpa always said to me, he was my best friend when I was a child, he always said, you have a choice in life most times. There are things everyone universally cry about. But most things we cry about, it's a choice whether you can laugh or cry. And you should always choose the laugh rather than the cry.
So true, so true. And that's the life we lived. And I agree with him. And you talked about love. You know, I was thinking last night, and I do think about love all the time. I love everybody. Somebody says, who's your best friend? Or what's your best this? Or I don't have any best anything. How can you change? How can you are so individualized. Everybody's individualized, and they're all so, I love them all. And and love is universal, and let's learn to love ourselves. You've got to learn to love yourself as your neighbor.
That's the first step. And then why can't you just love everyone else for who and what they are?
You and I are on the same keel.
So
That's
listen.
why I fell in love with Jack. They said, oh, what a body. I said, honey, I didn't fall in love with his body. I fell in love with his brain. And this is
with your spirit
between your ears.
It matters way more. You have to fall in love with someone's spirit and their mind, right? You got to fall in love with their soul. Yes. So you are a soul that's, you are clearly still on fire. What are you working on next? Do you have a goal for this year? And what is your next goal?
Well, my goal is I want to get pride and discipline out there, because for the younger generation, they don't know who Jack LaLanne is. You can look into yourself by reading this book, but I just feel that I have to get this message out there to the younger generation, because they need inspiration. And if you want an inspiration, I get inspired every time I look at it.
We are inspired by you, my friend. You're awesome. Your glasses are bad. and you look amazing.
These are my computer
They're
glasses.
awesome.
I love you.
Thank you, Elaine. Much love. Many kisses. Bye, darling.
Okay.
Keep on keeping on.
Love in my heart for you all.